Hi guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Today is Sunday, January 22nd, 2017. The markets are closed, but silver is currently at 1716, gold is at $1,211.00. And I wanted to get into some economic factors that are going to be playing in pretty directly coming down the line. I want to get into gold production and what it's at right now. Despite the declines that have been taking place in gold production, not in gold production, in the price of gold, gold production has been on the rise. Now, excluding central bank purchases in China, China is the number one producer of gold. Last year it made about 490 metric tons of gold. An interesting thing about China, though, as we see we have a new administration just stepping in the United States. We're talking about renegotiating trade between these countries, having a border tax, a tariff tax, eliminating some of the production. So China, also another interesting number about it, is the world's largest consumer of gold. Demand for gold in China was about 867 metric tons last year. So producing 490, they consumed 867. Another thing that's really big news that'll be coming down the line, and we will see an effect taking place, is that the second largest gold producer is Australia. And they've hedged their protection until 2018 as a result of the rising US dollar against the Australian dollar. So they are putting a squeeze on it. And we see this takes place, for example, when you have your OPEC, your oil producing nations. They have formed some sort of cartel. And if they want the price of oil to rise, they all agree and get in line and limit the production of oil, and thus creating a higher demand to supply, raising the price. And so we see Australia over here hedging their gold, holding on to their gold. We want to wait to sell it, so we're just going to hoard it until we see the dollar come down by 2018. So this will create a higher demand in the very near future. Another thing to look out for when it comes to silver. I know we just had a recent drop in the copper price. It wasn't so drastic, but with these drops in copper prices, what we see is more and more of these copper mines that are on the fence, on the edges, and they're shutting down production. And with this, silver is a massive byproduct of copper production. It's also a byproduct of gold production. A lot of people don't mine directly for silver. It's something that comes along with their other current mining operations. And we see this trade difficulties coming into play with China, the world's largest producer of gold. They also consume a lot of silver, but they produce a lot of silver. And we see that we're going to see a strain on production coming around the corner very soon. And another thing, which is great news, by the way, there is an outlook for some infrastructure spending with the U.S. government funding. There's stuff to say to the positive or the negative about an increase in spending, a decrease in taxes, what it could mean, because we're still going deficit spending, still going further and further into debt as a nation. But the one thing that it will do, it will increase the debt. And it will increase silver consumption. Now, we've been operating for the past 17 years at a deficit, year over year, a deficit of physical silver compared to the amount that is necessary. And with the increased in industrial demand that will be taking place within the United States, if there is going to be infrastructure spending or an increase in manufacturing, what we're going to see, we have these manipulators, these price manipulators that have gotten in the game. They've just created this fake silver out of paper and have sold it onto the market to be able to control the price. They've created this fake paper gold. I mean, they're in the news admitting to it. Lawsuits are up. And so they've created this to be able to control the price, control the demand, control the people's idea of what silver is. They don't want silver to come through as the shining light that it is, in which the people will rush into it. They will experience a currency crisis. But with the rise in industrial demand, that is silver consumption, not just silver hoarding, we do have a large amount of hoarding. The people who are purchasing silver at this point are collecting it. They're holding on to it. And it's a wise decision. It's a wise decision. Australia, we see, they're holding their gold. They see something that is coming in the near future. But we have not seen production slow down, only increase, because they know that there's mass instability coming. We see Great Britain leaving the euro, not just a Brexit vote, but hashing out plans to leave the euro. We are going to see the breakup of the eurozone, which is going to cause more price fluctuation as you see the entire currency of Europe melt down. All these debts come to roost. All these defaults on their debts come to roost, and we're going to see a massive demand to hold physical, maybe paper, but either way, this paper market's going to come melting down because they have been manipulating the price. They have been using this paper production to be able to alter the perception of the value that is in the silver and gold markets. And this is going to come crumbling down with the increase of industrial use. There's many different uses that are being used for silver. It's classically in line with a precious metal, and it's a great store of wealth. But at the same time, the percentage of the gains that you can capture from silver and losses are much higher than that of gold. Putting the same amount into gold, the percentage increase will be lower. So with the industrial demand, separate from precious metals, separate from collectors, the industrial demand is going to be higher. So with already a current deficit of physical silver in industrial use, they can't crumble up shares of silver and use it in machines, use it in a medical field. It's just not going to work. They're going to need physical silver. We have a deficit on demand. We have a rising demand that is flowing through for physical silver. And so we are going to be seeing some of these paper silver being called back. Okay, well, I want my physical to match the paper silver. And what we're going to see is that it's going to start coming to light that this silver does not really exist. There's millions of tons of silver that is in existence on paper that is not even real. And once we see this manipulation begin to crumble down, we're going to see a dramatic rise also. So we have these factors coming down the line in the near immediate future. We also see there's going to be unseating of the world's controlling powers. Russia would be the number 3 highest producer. United States is only number 4 highest producer of gold. So they fall behind. And when it comes to the demand for gold for industrial, the demand for silver for industrial, they just do not produce enough to be able to meet the demand. They have to import. We're going to have import tariffs, import taxes. The top 3 that are on there. The second one is holding gold production. So we're going to have China and Russia, and 2 countries that currently we have sanctions set upon. They're talking about tariffs, border taxes. So what we're going to see here is we're going to see a strangling of the supply, which we all know the demand follows supply. So we are looking for some immediate gains for 2017 that should show silver and gold prices up to the positive by year's end. And we have to see what's going to take place here with this new administration. We know that the reality is the media is lying to us. The economy is garbage. It is not getting better. It is, in fact, getting worse. Continually getting worse. And the worst thing about it is when people believe in something that's not there. They believe that there is this great recovery that's taking place. And we know that some of these factors that are going to be playing in are going to really bring it to light what is really going on. All right, but thank you guys for joining me. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe, like the channel, share the videos, get the word out. And I thank you guys again for stopping by. And leave me some comments. Let me know what it is, any tips, any hints, anything that you guys got going on, any news that you might have coming up, or some things you might like to see on some upcoming episodes. But again, thank you for dropping by the Silver Report. You guys stay safe.